Well, hello everybody, welcome back to The Longing. It's day 203. I almost started with a 100 then. I'm so used to it. But no, we're in the 200s now. Day 203 of The Longing, back in the caves. It's Monday today, Monday the somethingth of something, 14th of June. Which, and there haven't been any E3 conferences. That's a lie. Well, there haven't been any today. There was one last night after I recorded the video. There was the Square Enix one last night. There might have been more, but I haven't watched any. I only watched the Square Enix one last night. The Capcom one is coming up later on, which will be interesting. I hope they announce some Resident Evil Village DLC, because I really enjoyed that game. And I really enjoyed the story, especially. I mean, the gameplay was really fun as well. It's a great game. Big up Resident Evil Village. But no, nothing E3 related has really happened today yet. I could talk about the Square Enix presentation that was last night, but it was shit. They showed 20 minutes of a Guardians of the Galaxy game, which just looks exactly the same as the Avengers game. They also showed some Avengers stuff. But the Guardians of the Galaxy game, it doesn't look good. There was one section in the gameplay trailer where all the Guardians were fighting like a big alien monster. And they were all everyone was just standing still and shooting it or hitting it. It looked rubbish. It didn't look fun. And all the enemies were bullet sponges. It didn't look good. But if it's the same, it looks like it's the same engine and the same gameplay and the same, art design as the Avengers game that came out last year. Did it come out? I don't know. It's been purged from everyone's brains because it's terrible. Someone sent me an article of the Avengers game having 0 players on Steam, which I think's just hilarious. It's this huge AAA live service multiplayer game is so repulsive to everybody that it gets 0 players on Steam. 0 players. You gotta work to get 0 players on Steam. You have to do you either have to do no marketing or be terrible. And trust me, there's marketing for the Avengers. Guardians of the Galaxy isn't going to do any better. But at least it's single player. So they say. It probably won't be a live service game. They're not going to add more Guardians. Because there aren't really many. Not that I can think of. Iron Man joined them for a bit. But Iron Man's in the Avengers, so can't do that. In the Avengers game, speaking of, they're adding Black Panther. That's going to be fine. It's not going to be any better than anything else they've released. And I'm sure the game will still be bad. I've not played it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to spend £60 on a bad game with no players. In other gaming news, there have been gaming things happening today. A new Rainbow Six season started today, which brought with it brand new operator. She's called Thunderbird, and about 1 million quality of life changes. Some of which are good, and some of which are not bad. It feels like all the UI has changed. I've played a couple matches, because I'm into Rainbow Six now. I played a couple matches earlier today, and it's fun. It's still the same game. The gameplay loops haven't changed. The new lady, she's fun to play, and she's fun to play against as well. I think that's a really important thing when you're making a multiplayer game, to make things fun to play against, because that's what you're going to be doing. Especially in like a hero shooter, like Overwatch, or I guess Rainbow Six is kind of a hero shooter because you have different operators. There's not a guarantee that you'll ever play as one character, but you will probably play against every character. And so you've got to make it fun to play against. And the new girl, Thunderbird, she's called, if you don't play Rainbow Six, tactical shooter, and the new girl's ability is she places down a little turret on the floor, and if a teammate or an enemy goes within a certain radius of that turret, shoots out a little paintball, and it heals them. And the important thing is that it heals both friends and enemies. So when you're playing her, then you've got to think, well, where can I put it where my teammates can get to, but it's not very likely that the enemy will get to. So you don't want to put them on like staircases, because enemies are going to use the staircase. You got to put them in like hidden corners on the objective and stuff. And when you're playing against her, then if you see a turret on the floor in a seemingly empty room, you've got to think, well, there might be someone nearby keeping an eye on it so that they can get healing. So do I run to it to get a boost of health, or do I just miss it, or do I just destroy it completely? It's an interest. It's very interesting from a game design perspective, and as someone who's getting into game design and that side of things, I think it's a really good change rather than other recent operators who've been added, such as a guy with an explosive or a woman with a laser door. Because there's only one thing you can either, if you're playing against them, if you're playing against the laser grid woman who shoots a laser grid over doorways and windows, then you throw a gadget into it and then it breaks and then you walk through it, and that's the whole thing you can do with it. There's not much you can really do other than that. You can break the wall next to it, I guess. But no. There's been other changes to Rainbow Six, all of which I cannot remember. Big UI changes that look nice. They reworked a map, which I haven't played much of yet, but I think it's pretty good. There's some interesting routes. My biggest gripe with Rainbow Six is that all the maps are just the same, but with a different color of paint on them. They're all corridors, and they're all rooms with windows, and there's nothing interesting about them. And in the new Favela is the name of the map that got reworked, and in the new version of it, then there's a trash chute which you can jump down, and that goes across all floors. So you can jump down from the second floor, and you can get a drone in from the third floor, but you can't jump down on the third floor. And I think that's nice level design. It makes it feel different to the other maps, which are still just climb up a wall and go in a window and then walk down a corridor and go into a room, which is good. I hope they get more maps like that. I have fun with it. Whenever the friends I play it with are much better than me, and the way that the matchmaking works, even in quick play for Rainbow Six, is that you get matched with people of similar elo, similar skill level, and I'm not very good at it. And so when I'm playing with friends, I get matched with like really high level, really good players. But I still have fun because I'm hanging out with my friends. But when I'm playing on my own, then I have fun because I'm doing well, because I'm being placed with people who aren't as good. So it's a win-win situation, really, even though most of the people who play it are really toxic. And it's whatever. You can mute them, and you can hit that report button. I'm running out of things to say. I was hoping to get to the bottom of this very staircase that we're on before I ended the video. I'm taking this journey back to the home in a few days at a time. Does that make sense? You know what I'm talking about. I went up, all the way up in one video, and I'm going to go all the way down in a few videos because, you know, we've got 200 days left. We can't use them up really fast. But nothing else has happened today. I might make some pizza dough after this video, after I've finished recording this. I want to try the method where you leave it to rise in the fridge for like a week. And I'm not doing anything this weekend. This weekend is 100% free. So I'll probably make some pizza then. But if I make the pizza dough now, it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Oh, we made it to this cave. Here we are, and that's going to be the end of the video. I'll walk down to the map, because why not? Thank you so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. As always, I hope you've all had a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow, where... Oh, it's a Nintendo thing tomorrow, so maybe I'll talk about that. I hope it's good.